abstract strategy games, no commas, and that's an inside joke.
Yes,
my bad.
It is.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Flipside. I'm Sam.
I'm JT.
And this is our top 5 abstract strategy games. This is a continuation of a video that we put over on the Dice Tower. And on the Dice Tower video, we kind of gave a kind of garters. We put some garters on so that we could have a little bit more of a focused discussion. And basically, BGG lists 6 monikers of an abstract strategy game. First of all, it's themeless, or at least it is generally themeless. In other words, it could have any theme on it that you possibly could want. It has to not have a storyline. It has to have simple, straightforward design and or mechanisms. So it's just a few things that you're going to be doing, and that's how you're going to have to defeat your opponent. It is competitive, and there's perfect information. And finally, there's little to no elements of luck and or chance.
Yep.
Now, one of the things that we said last time was that any number of these can kind of fluctuate. But generally speaking, those are the things that you're talking about when you have abstract strategy. I usually like to have a little bit more theme in my abstract strategy games than I think probably JT does.
Well, I don't think that's true.
Well, I mean, I know you like theme. Don't get me wrong.
I'm just, when you're looking at
but it can't hinge upon it, right?
Right.
Yeah. This is definitely the lighter half of my list. The average weight of these top 5 is a 1.77. So it's below 2, which means that, I mean, this category is generally lighter anyway. Even JT's list what was like an average of 2.1 or something like that.
My list is average 2.1. Yeah. So my highest in the last one, though, is 1.88.
Oof.
My lowest in this one's 1.56, but everything after that's above 2. So there's a pretty good disparity between my last 5 and the top 5.
All right, well, let's get to it. Our top 5 abstract strategy games. Let's hit it. All right, my number 5 is a game from Arcane Wonders, and this is a new one to my collection within the last couple of years at least, and I was drawn to it by its stark use of color. Reds, blacks, and whites. A lot of them. This is called Mezzan. Mezzan is a game where you're going to have a bunch of tiles in your on your tableau grid, basically. And every turn, one person is going to have the opportunity of choosing one kind of object that everybody must remove from their grid. And then once you've removed those tiles from the grid, you have to choose one group of those tiles. You don't remove all of them. So they have to be adjacent to each other. And then once you remove those tiles from the grid, everything kind of slides down. And then you can flip those tiles over that you removed and slot them back in at the top of your grid wherever you want.
What's that Jeweled game that you're playing on your phone?
Bejeweled?
Bejeweled. Just like Bejeweled.
I mean, it has that mechanism in it where you're popping things and it's sliding down and filling in with other things.
Like. Yep.
But you get to choose whatever's on the other side of those tiles that came out. You get to choose where they go back in.
There you go. That's funny.
Now, that's the general mechanism of the game. As you go around the board, I think there's like 7 or 8 different rounds. And each round is going to score slightly differently based upon where these objects fall within your grid. And that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get certain symbols to fall into the right places within your grid so you can score points for them.
Yep.
And it's just a really neat shifting puzzle is the way I think I like to call it. And I really do enjoy it. It's Mezzan, my number 5.
Yeah, that's cool. I did not know they had Candy Crush on board games. But it's good colors.
It's not Candy Crush or Bejeweled.
All right. That sounds cool. I haven't played it. My number 5 kind of follows that same thought process, not exactly that same thought process. My number 5 is more like Tetris in a board game, and this is called Project L. In Project L, you are collecting all these different Tetris type pieces, whether they're 3 long by 1 or an L shape or whatever else. You also can get with expansions ghost pieces that are like 5 blocks, but they're all different. There's some pretty cool stuff. But you're either gaining pieces and putting them into these little boards that you get, or you're drafting new boards, and the boards have different shapes on them. So you're trying to fit all of your pieces, what pieces you have, into those shapes. And as soon as the shape is full, you're going to get some kind of reward, whether it might be a new tile to add later, or it might be some points right off the bat, or whatever else. And there's 2 different stacks of tiles. One of them is, or 2 different stacks of these boards. One of them's more so getting you tiles, and then one of them's harder ones to do that are more so getting you points. But that's what you're doing. You're Tetrising these things together turn by turn by turn, trying to complete puzzles and get new ones. The whole time increasing the amount, because every time you complete a puzzle, you get to take all your pieces back off of it, and now you can use those on future puzzles. So your puzzle pile, your piece pile is growing and growing. So that's a really fun game. I really like Project L.
Yep, it is a good one.
Super fun.
Very cool.
So that's my number 5.
All right, my number 4 is a game from Simon Games, and this one is called Monolith. Monolith has a pretty neat theme to it. It's dealing with rune stones and all of this other kind of stuff. But generally speaking, it doesn't need that theme. It looks really cool, and the pieces of the game look really cool as well because of that theme, but it doesn't need the theme at all. So basically what you're doing is that you have a ring of different 3-dimensional polyomino shapes. And you're able to move the runestone marker 1 to 3 spaces, I believe, along that path. Wherever you stop, that's the piece that you can add to your monolith that you're building on your board. So that's one of the general mechanisms. The other mechanism is that your board has different color sides on each of it. And so basically what it's doing is that if you have orange on this side, white on this side, and blue on this side, and then gray on this side, you're trying to get that face of your monolith to have as many of that color showing on that side as possible. So that you can take a prophecy token and place it there, and that means now you're going to score that many points if that face of the monolith has that number of that color face on that side. That was super convoluted. It's not difficult at all. It's just you're trying to get your prophecy token to match the number of visible
you want
colored faces.
6 blue ones on this side.
Yep, exactly. And it's different from all of those different sides. So as you're taking a piece, the pieces are all these different colors, and you say, well, I can put that on the inside, and I know that at the end of the game, that color isn't going to be visible on this side, but it's going to help me build my structure. Well, on top of that, there's also a structure bonus card that if you can build that structure first, you get a lot of points. And then the second person to build it gets fewer points, and the third person to build it gets fewer still. So there's a lot of different ways to score points in this, but it's generally just building up your monolith so that you score and choosing prophecy tokens so that you score maximum points on all 4 of your
So is there a way to
things.
play this where you're scoring the same color on all 4 sides? Because I swear, and I was watching people play it the other day, that's what they were doing.
I don't think so. Each of the different boards have a different configuration of
colors.
Yeah,
I think they played it wrong.
yeah, that might be. That's
funny.
But
Okay,
that's
that
my number
makes
4,
sense.
monolith.
Got you. Another one where you need a lazy Susan just for your own board. I don't know.
It's small enough to where you can just do this.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't want a lazy Susan added in. All right. My number 4 has a theme. It doesn't have to have this theme, but the theme is great. And it makes you understand, obviously, what your pieces are called. But this game is called Hive. Hive is a tile placement game where you have the same amount of tiles as the other person. They're all identical, what tiles you have. And each of those tiles has a different way that it moves on the board. Once you create the hive in the beginning, you have 4 of your tiles and 4 of the other person's tiles. One of those tiles is your queen, queen bee, and you're just simply trying to surround the other person's queen bee completely with tiles that can be yours or other people's. But every one of your tiles you place down has a different ability. A grasshopper jumps straight across the hexagonal line. You know, the ant runs around the outside. The spider moves 3. The pill bug, I think, gets to pick up people and move them to the other side. So there's a couple different. Is it the pill bug? I can't remember. One of them moves them. If you play the mosquito, it mimics the ability of whatever creature's next to it. So the bug theme helps. Obviously, you could have any kind of, the diamond could do the same thing or whatever else. But this is a very, very, very tactical 2-player game where you're trying to outwit your opponent. And it's very tight and very thinky. But I really love this game, and it's called Hive.
My number 3 is probably one you're not going to agree with, but it's okay. It comes in at a 2.01, and in this game, the theme of the game is you are building stained glass windows, Azul, stained glass of Sintra. And this one for me, I think qualifies as an abstract strategy game. I don't think you need the theme. You could just be putting the colors in a row. That's all you're really doing. But the theme works because it's connected to that cathedral I think it's a cathedral in Sintra, which is a real city somewhere.
I didn't know that was the theme.
I'm pretty sure it is.
I know you're building a stained glass because that's what it says.
Yeah, I think there is a cathedral in a town called Sintra, and that's what this is. But I could be wrong. I don't know. But that's basically all you're doing. But one of the reasons why I like this, and I don't think it has that perfect information moniker very well, because
round to round it does. I mean, I don't think that you have to.
Sure. From game into game, there's new information that gets added, but round to round,
it is perfect.
It is perfect information because there's a certain number of tokens or cubes or whatever you want to call them out there, gems, window panes, whatever. And you have to make your decisions based on that information. And one of the cool things that I like about it is being able to move your worker around and kind of resetting him gives you that ability to take a pass when somebody might have you in a spot where they're going to say, you're going to get some negative points here, and you're like, nah, I think I'll just reset. Or
you can catch the other person in a spot where you know they can't take the tiles that they want because their guy's in the wrong spot.
Exactly. So this is a really fun game to me. It's my favorite of the Azul series, but that's my number 3, Azul Stained Glass of Sintra.
Well, my number 3 is a game called Azul Stained Glass of Sintra.
Really?
Yeah, and the reason I put stained glass here versus Queen's Garden is my favorite of the games.
Yes,
but is also, I don't want to say the most convoluted, but it's the most complicated of them. And the fact that you don't have perfect information even at the beginning of the round. In all the rest of the Azuls, you have exactly what's going to happen in the round. You know, it's all out there in front of you. So, and in this one in particular, the ability, the strategy of using that guy, using your worker, knowing wherever people's workers are, is essential. And it's a fantastic ability. So, so as far as a perfect knowledge, very strategic, this one's on top of the list for the Azuls, in my opinion. So
very cool.
So that's a direct crossover.
Was not expecting a crossover.
Number 3, Azul Stained Glass of Sintra.
All right, my number 2 is a crossover.
Surprise!
But it might not be the one you think it is.
Oh, really? What?
Yeah,
well, that means your number 1's a crossover.
There's going to be another crossover coming up here just a little bit.
All right. Well, this one's not a direct crossover.
No, it's not a direct crossover because you've already said it. This one is a crossover. It's called Ragnaroks. And this is a great game. I think I put Santorini on my list. and Ragnarok's. I crossed Santorini off because I feel like it relies a little bit too heavily on the theme.
Maybe. I also find Santorini a little more fiddly.
This one is much more abstract, I'll put it that way, in my opinion, than Santorini is, which is why it made the list and Santorini didn't. I really do enjoy Santorini. I'm waiting for my Pantheon pledge to come in. But anyway, Ragnarok's is a really cool game. He talked about it on the other list where, but basically you're just trying to get your, you have 3 Vikings that you're trying to get them all into their own little corner of the world, and you want their corner of the world to be as big as possible because each space in each of those little corners of their world count as a point.
Yep.
And so you want to be able to score more points than your other opponents. So it's a really cool. There are some special abilities that are thrown in there with cards. I can't remember exactly what they're called. I don't think they're God cards, but
that's what they are. Yeah.
That's what they are. Okay, cool.
Yep.
So it's a really fun game, really great abstract game. It's a crossover. My number 2, Ragnarok's.
Wow, that means you're not crossing over on either of these two, but I went old school on my number 2. And I could have gone. Now, admittedly, I've only played Yinch once, and Yinch is not my number 2. But there's a whole group of those games, Yinch and Czar, and
they're all ugly.
Devon or whatever else. Well, I went back to the predecessor because this is a game I grew up on as a kid.
Go?
No. Go. I think this was before Go.
What?
Othello.
Othello.
Now, Othello's kind of the granddaddy of those games. I think it was before Go. I don't know. Go and Othello, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Which one came first in 17 or in
I'm pretty sure Go did.
850 or whatever it is. Because Othello comes all the way back from Roman times, right? Or Greek times from a long time ago. So either way, in Othello, you very simply have a grid. And you have white tiles or black tiles. You're one of the 2 types, and as your whole goal is to place down tile or these nice little pieces. But every time you place them in this grid, any of the opponent's pieces that are in between 2 of your pieces, you flip them over to your side. So now they become yours, and they're doing the same thing. And by the time the grid fills out, whoever has the most
area control
of their color. On the board, whoever has the most tiles showing wins the game. This game is very thinky. It's very tight. It's very cutthroat. And this cutthroat, it's competitive. But there's a lot of thought process that goes into this, and watching the whole board at the same time, so you don't do something really dumb and lose 5 or 6 of your pieces at once. So
that would be me.
I really like Othello. Stupid. I grew up on Othello. I know there are several games that have iterated on Go or Othello over the time, but that's my number 2. I had to give it some love, so my number 2 is Othello.
Cool. Definitely not going to be a crossover.
Nope, probably not.
My number 1 is another crossover, and JT said it on his other list. It was criminally low on his list.
And barely made my list.
This is Onitama.
Scraped its way
This is Onitama. This is one of the best. This is my favorite abstract strategy game of choice. I love how you literally will allow your opponent to beat you using the exact same tools that you had at your disposal.
Yep.
Now, you can kind of hold back a move, but by doing that, you're like cutting off one of your hands, and you're trying to beat him with just one hand, and because you can hold that one.
Don't want them to have that move.
And you don't want them to have that move, but you're like, man, I got to use this move. And now I'm going to get that. Now I got to use that move. It makes it harder on yourself to do that. But I love the fact that each game only has 5 moves, and they're all open. You know exactly what your opponent has. They know exactly what you have. And you're all using the same 5 moves to beat your opponent, and I really, really do enjoy it. Somebody called me out the other time. This was on one of our other lists. I think it was on the 2-player game list. It was a backpack list. It was 2-player backpack games, and they said he didn't talk about how this is one of the only games he's ever beat Jason in. This is true. This is one of the only games. I think it's the only game I ever beat Jason at. and I whooped them at it. And so I will hold on to that. And this is my number 1, Onitama, for that very reason.
All right.
That's not true. I really enjoy this game. I don't care if I beat Jason at it.
All right.
It's really good. Really enjoy it. Onitama.
Well, my number 1 is the granddaddy of abstract strategy games. I don't know how it doesn't make your list. I don't know how it doesn't make every single person's list, but that's chess. Chess is a fantastic game. I have played it hundreds of times.
Oh, so have I.
I was in chess club in high school. We
So-
played chess all the time. Chess is a fantastic game. Obviously, it's the most famous abstract, and people. I don't want to play Magnus Carlsen in any of these games, but I definitely don't want to play him in chess because I will look like a toddler. So
That's why I don't play chess.
I don't play chess anymore either. I haven't played it in a long time. But regardless, chess is a fantastic game. And it's just...
I was in the DECA club in high school. And in our DECA club meetings, sometimes we didn't have anything to do. And in that DECA club high school, that group, one of the guys in there was ranked 5th in the southeastern region of the United States, competitive chess playing.
Yeah.
And I just got tired. I got tired of trying. I got tired of playing them. Yeah. Now, if I used to play chess all the time back when it was like one of those programs you had on your computer.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I would play
Battle
that
chess
all the time. Yeah, battle chess. It had Star Wars like things on it. I used to play chess all the time. I'm just burnt out on it.
Okay. I don't know if you get... Well, I understand the burnout on it maybe, but it's still the number 1 abstract strategy game.
Yeah, I get it.
There was a game back in... I'm going to put this on here just for fun, but there was a game back in 1989, 88 on the old Atari computer called Archon, which was a version of chess. Did you ever play Archon? No. Your 2 little dudes would get together as soon as you touched the other person's guy, and there was different factions too, but then it would go to this little battle map where those 2 guys where you had to actually fight it out. It was pretty fun. But anyways, that was a long time ago. And
Have you ever played Nightmare Chess?
And it was pretty 8-bit, I think.
Have you ever played Nightmare Chess?
No.
You might like that.
What's Nightmare Chess?
Nightmare Chess is basically, it's regular chess, but you have a hand of cards. And those cards allow you to move the pieces, and sometimes they move in a way that is different than regular chess.
I would like it, for sure.
There's that. I also have a weird, very unique chess set that I should probably show you. It's interesting.
You probably don't want to see that one. Keep it to yourself.
No.
My mom, cool. Back when I was in high school, she came back from Mexico. She brought me like this Mayan chess set that was all hand carved, like stone. Wow. Yeah, that thing was cool.
Yeah. See, I just want a Star Wars set.
Well, I don't.
No, you don't.
All right.
Well, that's our top 5 abstract strategy games. So let us know in the comments below what you think. What did we miss? What do you think is the best definition of an abstract strategy game?
No, don't tell us the definition, but don't put no themed games down there. So I'll just say no. That's my
if you put Yinch and all those other kind of things,
you can put Yinch in there. That's fine.
That's a bunch of ugliness. Bunch of ugliness. Anyway, let us know. Give us a like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you can be told when we have more videos coming out ready for your perusal. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side. Take care.
You're awesome. Stay awesome and have a good weekend.
Yes, sir.